Hi, I am here today with another video. I had the pleasure of being in a Google Plus Hangout with the Google TV team, or Google TV development team, and the Revision3 team, and as well as a few Sony developers, and we talked about the upcoming second generation platform of Google TV from Sony, and I have um, I have permission from Revision3 and Sony and Google to redistribute this onto my YouTube channel. I hope you enjoy. Please leave a comment down below about what you think about this. Thank you.
Hello! Hello everyone, this is Kevin Lau, Community Manager for Google TV. I want to welcome everyone to our Hangout today. We have a special Hangout today that we're going to be covering with Revision3 and Sony. So why don't we go ahead and introduce everyone on the Hangout. Why don't we start with the folks on the Google side.
I'm Crispy. I'm a developer programs engineer who works on Google TV.
I'm Greg. I'm a product manager that works on Discovery, including the TV and Movies app for Google TV.
Hi, I'm Christian Kurtzke. I'm developer advocate for Google TV.
And we'll go to the Revision3 side.
I'm Jackie. I am helping moderate this, and I am a host of App Judgment on Revision3.
I'm Evan Horrigan. I'm the Director of Client Engineering and lead developer for all Android Google TV related Revision3 stuff.
And I'm Rob DeMello. I'm the Chief Technology Officer for Revision3.
Sorry about that, we had a little bit of feedback.
Who's next? Who wants to say hi?
Okay. Hi, I'm Tony. I'm from Sony. I'm a software engineer working in developer relations, kind of helping getting developers up and running on Google TV.
Great. So I'm going to pass it over to Jackie, and she'll help us with some of the moderation for today.
You're on, Jackie.
I forgot I was muted. Sorry. So do we want to just start? Do you guys want to start talking about the Google TV and where we're at, and then we can kind of get into questions, or?
Sure. Do you guys want to talk a little bit about what you guys do for Google TV, and we'll definitely.
I know we kind of just went through who we are.
All right, Christian, why don't you start?
All right. So, well, I've been with Google TV for a couple of versions now, so I'm really excited. At I/O, we were showing the newest generation devices, including the Sony and the Vizio. And we have started now taking pre-orders for Vizio. Sony is selling. So what we do is we basically help developers create applications for all those Google TV devices, and I'm working with a couple really new and exciting ones that I'm looking forward to launch, but well, stay tuned.
I work on, I guess, more of the engineering kind of relations. So you're a developer advocate. I'm a developer programs engineer. There's a very blurred line between the two roles on Google TV, but primarily my focus is answering developer questions, creating sample code, and talking to people who want to build cool and interesting things for our awesome platform.
My name is Greg, as I said earlier, and I work on the TV and Movies app and manage Discovery for the platform. So Discovery, we're trying to do a bunch of different things all at once. One is bring live and on-demand content together. So inside the search box or inside the TV and Movies app, you can see both live content and on-demand all mixed together. And we think that's really powerful because you at some point you might be interested in something that's playing live, but you'd love to also see what's available on demand to you from different subscriptions, free on the web for rental. And then another element of what we're doing is trying to bring not only traditional content like TV shows and movies in making that more discoverable, but bringing a little bit more of the web content, including more diverse interests into discovery. And so what we're trying to do is think about how can we build an interface that lets you find not only a comedy movie, but a do-it-yourself video or webisodes. So we're doing a lot of work right now thinking about that little bit longer tail content.
Awesome. Should we start doing some questions?
Sure. I wanted to give a chance because the Hangout for sure. We're definitely going to be talking about the new Sony device, and want to take a chance for Tony to talk about that, all the latest things that Sony's put together, and kind of go from there.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the things that a ton of people are interested in. So we'd love to hear about the new features and you know how it's kind of changed from the last one.
Okay, so I'll take it from here. So we have just launched the new Google TV. It's called the Sony Internet Player with Google TV, and it's I hope you can see it here. It's a little smaller than the first generation. So this one does not have Blu-ray player, but we have another product that's coming out a little bit later that also has a Blu-ray player. The ports on the back is pretty similar to last year, so HDMI in and out, so you can do pass-through and don't have to switch input on your TV. Optical output and a couple of USB ports. And also the power supply is all built into the box, so you don't have to have a brick hanging on the floor. It actually also has a couple of IR blasters built into the front here, so you can control other devices with the remote control. So that's the actual box, but the real new thing is really the remote control. So I don't know if you have seen the old remote control. It was just one side and it didn't have a touchpad. This one is actually a touchpad and D-pad on one side and then a backlit keyboard on the back side. And then it also has a built-in accelerometer, so we hope there will be some new games and new cool stuff coming. We are launching in the US and in the UK right now. It went on pre-sale in June, and then we are shipping right now. And then we're also going to launch in Australia, Canada, Brazil, Mexico, Germany, France, and the Netherlands just over the summer here. So we hope also, you know, with a larger install base that we can get more developers attracted to the platform. The box is running on a dual-core ARM processor, which is a little snappier than the first generation. And also, there's no fan, so it's a very quiet device you can have in your living room. It's still running Honeycomb 3.2, so there's not a big difference there from last year's model. There's some new settings and new features for setting up different countries and what have we, but the core of the OS is the same as last year. We also have a new update rolling out soon, a 1.1 update, where we actually enable the media player and enable DLNA features also in the device. It'll also include a new Sony app that can aggregate videos and photos from your Facebook or Twitter feed. So it's kind of neat little thing. Let's see. So also one thing that our device comes with, if I actually give a demo here, I hope everybody can see. So there's a thing called Sony Entertainment, which is a place where we can feature a few select apps kind of per country. So apps for Brazil may not be appropriate in the US, but we can feature them right there. It of course comes with Google Play Store, Netflix, YouTube, Chrome browser, those kind of things. We also have a number of pre-installed apps like Plex and Flickster, among others, which we hope everybody will like. We also have our Sony Music Unlimited and Video Unlimited on the device. So if you have an account, then you can use it right out of the box, or you can create a new account. So those are kind of the new things about the device. I can try and give a little example of the accelerometer. So if I do a single player here, then I'm using the remote to actually control the little ball here. I'm not particularly good at this one, but anyway, that's some of the new things. If anybody has any questions, then I'll be happy to at least try and answer them.
Jason had a question about where to get the APIs for the remote.
Okay, so we actually have a developer portal, developer.sony.com, where you can go to the Android section and Google TV, and there we actually posted APIs both for the accelerometer and also for the touchpad. We have some additional gestures that we can recognize on the touchpad. So it's completely free. You just have to create an account on the developer site. Any other questions?
Yeah, we have tons of questions if we want to start getting into those.
Cool.
Okay, well, the first one, everyone wanted to know if it was going to be ice cream sandwich or jelly bean, but it's honeycomb.
Yeah, so we're working with our partners like Sony to bring the latest and greatest to Google TV. You know, it's sort of a stay tuned thing. There's no exact timeline yet, so that's about the best I can say at the moment.
Cool. Actually, Lester Walters was saying that it would be nice to get additional info on the newest Sony plus Google TV products. He's wanting to upgrade his living room TV, or at the very least, get a new Sony set-top box. So where can people get the information that they want to know when updates are coming and that kind of thing? Like, where can people follow up on that?
So we have a product site on store.sony.com where you can find the Google TV player. There you will get information about the features and what we have on the product. On our developer portal, you are very welcome to actually send us questions, and we'll try to answer. Of course, there's some things that is really it's part Sony, part Google, and part business also. Exactly when updates and stuff like that can roll out. But we do try to answer questions on our forum, on our developer portal.
Excellent. Lost my window. Okay. Mark actually just asked in the chat why the microphone has been taken out of the remote for the new Sony box.
Okay, actually, let me just show one more thing. So what I just showed was the internet player with Google TV, and then we have the Blu-ray player also with Google TV. A little bit different form factor, of course. Kind of the same ports on the back, but the difference is, again, the remote control. So this remote control actually has a microphone, so you can do voice search and stuff like that.
Cool. What are my questions?
And I just want to encourage people too. You could post your questions. You could ask them in the Hangout, as well as for people that are not in the Hangout, you could post them on the events page, which people have been doing, and also on our Google Plus page for both Revision3 and also for Google TV.
So what do you guys say is the grand vision of the Google TV platform and the hardware manufacturer relationship with Sony? Colin Stevens wants to know. He says he sees how Google TV has made his current cable service smarter and how it has brought search to his TV, among other obviously good apps and that kind of thing. But what do you see the grand vision is with your relationship with Sony from both ends, I think? They're asking as far as like, are you guys going to do more, integration as far as like tablet mirroring, or he says PS1 or PS2 games, Google Now.
So for tablet mirroring, I mean, there's already there's already a lot of things we can actually do to have functionality across the devices. So we have a Sony Media Remote that's running on both tablet and phones, where you can fling video from your tablet to the TV or the other way around. You can send web pages from the tablet to the TV. It has a full remote control for the Google TV. So that's, I mean, it's just beginning there. I know there's a lot of actually very cool stuff coming shortly.
So there will be able to be added functionality to an existing Android app to be able to control the Google TV and kind of like, send your content to the Google TV rather than having to navigate through the UI itself?
Yes, that already exists.
Oh, well, there you go. Jose actually asked in the chat, he has a question about why didn't the Google Q and the Google TV be the same thing? Like, why are they two separate devices?
You want me to do it, or?
I can start with it. I mean, we've gotten a few questions about the Google Q. I think what we have to keep in mind is it's a different use case. The Q is really a streaming device, mostly to make basically Google Play content accessible. It's currently Google TV's strength is really bringing together things like your cable provider content and all the content that you get over the air together with the internet. So it brings those two features together. We're definitely aware of some of the questions, how they're going to converge. We don't really have any update on that, so stay tuned.
I mean, I think the essential thing to remember is, we're a services company. We have many services, and we want to be in as many areas as possible, right?
Definitely.
And I think what I really like about Google TV is pass-through video. So I just have all my content in one place. So I don't have to decide, is this something I want to watch on a streaming device Q, or do I have to switch to my cable box? I can just get everything in one place. I can search the internet, and even better, I can have all the apps available to me.
Yeah.
If I can add to that also, I would say one of my favorites would be the universal remote control part of it, where during the setup of Google TV, you tell it what your zip code is and what your content provider is and what your TV manufacturer and model is and maybe your AV receiver, and then after that you can basically control everything with one remote, which is great.
That is nice. Okay, so Davis Darvish asked us, when will Google TV sync up in the Android version, i.e. start running Jelly Bean, and run all Android apps without any special optimizations? Why not allow all apps in the Play Store just to work on the Google TV like they would on any other phone or tablet?
Okay, so this is one I looked at. There's a problem with just exposing all the applications, mainly because different devices have different capabilities. Most TVs don't have a touch interface. They don't have telephony support. They don't have cameras built in. It just wouldn't make sense to allow all the applications available onto Google TV because they wouldn't work. They wouldn't function. You could install them, but they just wouldn't do much.
Right.
Also, on the Google TV end, there are certain things you can tap into for DRM and other features that are very specific to the TV that wouldn't be available to other apps. And so we want to keep these applications available to the devices that they'll work the best on. And as to the update to Jelly Bean or other, again, nothing to announce at this time.
Right, right. So Jason Hom wants to know, Google Play Movies need to work on Chrome and Google TV. It should be a priority, and he wants to know if it is.
So I can take this one. So it's definitely a priority, and at I/O we announced that Google Play Store and Google Play Movies would be coming to the devices. Interestingly, though, right now you can actually rent and watch movies via YouTube. It's actually the same catalog of movies that show up in the Google Play Store that also show up for rent on YouTube. So right now, inside the YouTube app, you can go and play back a rented movie. But we know we need to get the Play Store app and Play Movies app onto the devices as well, and just make the whole thing a lot simpler. And so we've got some stuff planned soon for that.
Awesome. I know we kind of touched on it a little bit, but people are curious. So if they have invested in the old Google TV, are they kind of just out of it now, or will they have to buy the new one, or will they get the same new features, or how's that going to work for people that are completely invested in the old one?
Do you want to take it?
Sure. So we created with our system installed apps. One of the things that we're doing is we're using the Play Store to update those apps. We're actively updating for all of the Google TV devices, including the first generation, and we have plans to continue doing that. So just this last week, a TV and Movies app release went out to all the Logitech devices, Sony devices, everything. And YouTube app updates are going out as well. And we can plan to continue doing that. We're working very, very hard not to make any kind of incompatible changes.
Cool. So now I kind of have a few more developer-specific questions for people that are interested in developing for Android as well as Google TV. Tanner Lynn actually wants to know if there will be a special Google TV SDK, or is it going to be based off the current Android one? Or how does that work in general? I know that Evan has developed our Revision3 Google TV app, so I don't know if he can kind of speak on how he has ported the Android app to the Google TV, or how that process works, or if there is a separate SDK.
Yeah, in our case, I mean, we had an existing Android app that used all of the features that the Google TV required, didn't use any of the extra features, and was built for one really good thing, which was to browse and watch our content. So when it came to having it ready for Google TV, there's a Google TV add-on that has an emulator, and there's a different screen layout. But it was fairly easy. We just had a different screen layout for the Google TV.
Cool.
Really
and there were certain UI guidelines as far as where like the buttons are supposed to go and that kind of thing. That's just whatever Android.
A lot of that stuff is listed on the Google TV developer site.
Cool.
Yeah, actually, just to build on top of this, so it's really just using the standard Android SDK. There is no secret sauce. As Crispy alluded to earlier, there are some features which are not available on Google TV. So if you, for example, in your app use, say, the telephony stack to check SMS messages or something, that, of course, won't work. So you need to know what is available, and there is documentation on our website. I think the biggest step, or I don't want to say the biggest challenge, but one of the big time investments that developers need to make is really optimizing the user interface. I see a lot of people start with a touch-based application, and it's different when you navigate with the remote control from your couch, as opposed to being able to just touch random buttons on the screen. And it sounds really trivial, and sometimes developers don't believe it, but when you try it, just navigating a simple list with like a couple hundred friends in it becomes very tedious on a remote control. And so my biggest advice is really just simplify your application, make it extremely easy to access content, and give people a very short path to get content on the screen. People, when you are in TV watching mode, people usually have a much shorter attention span, and they just want to get the content quickly.
I think another thing that's worth mentioning is don't cram lots of info onto the screen because it's hard to read and as you said, navigate through.
Yeah. Also, I mean, the most obvious thing, if anybody's watching this from a television, is just notice it's a landscape device. It's not a portrait device. There's really nothing more ugly than having a list view on a television that spans across 60 inches and you have to read across 60 inches. So, and then I know a lot of app developers usually develop for portrait mode first because that's the native sort of way you handle a telephone. So, it's just some of those tips and tricks.
And speaking of kind of, development best practices, is there any hardware besides the remote that is usable for applications? Like, is there a video game controller, or is there any other hardware inputs that could be used with the app?
It's interesting. There's not anything that will ship with the TV out of the box, but we're invested in second screen applications and getting tablets and Android tablets and Android phones and what have you connecting to the TV with various protocols that allow for that. There's also USB host, which is going to allow for third parties to build these things.
Yeah. Awesome.
I mean, if I can add to that, so for example, we have a smartwatch that it's actually possible to control the TV. For example, the dot game I was showing before, it's actually possible to use the smartwatch to control that game. So you can see it as an accessory.
We got another question from the chat from Martin. Iterbide? I'm not going to try to say that. Is there any plan for Sony to include a web camera support for the Google TV devices and allow video conferencing from that device?
So we know it's a high priority, but I think it's also something that we're working with Google about to see if it's possible to do that. We know it's high on the list.
Let's see what other questions we have here. What about an over-the-air tuner, which is kind of what we covered with the Nexus Q?
I'm not aware of anything coming right now, but we'll see what happens here.
Mr. Wizard wants to know if we can expect any further integration with existing user accounts for services like Amazon or Netflix. Currently, search results for content don't differentiate between what is available for free to all or free to account holders.
Yeah, so I can take that. So right now the TV and Movies app does a little bit of user personalization around whether you have a Netflix account or if you have an HBO Go account. And what we're planning to do is expand that and let you really spell out which accounts you've got and which ones you don't, so that you can get a really, really good, clear idea of what content is available to you. So hang tight. I don't have a date yet on that, but we're actively working on it at the moment.
What about, how hard is it going to be to get content from companies like HBO, not with a cable subscription, if that can even happen?
I don't even know if that fits into the format of our discussion.
Yeah, I mean, I think HBO.
Good question, though.
A month or so ago, when there was a web meme around this, they basically said we're not there yet.
All right. Let's see. What else do we have here? Have we seen any other new questions besides what we have already?
Yeah, there's one that I see kind of interesting from James Chan. He wants to know, he says, I'm developing a Google TV app that he would like to allow Android tablets to connect to the TV and do a swipe to share pictures, videos, documents, and web pages. This is kind of possible now. There was some developers I was speaking with at I.O. that Well, essentially, what you want to do is you want to build an Android app for your tablet or phone that actually contains a web server. You're likely going to have to implement a lot of the HTTP details yourself or find an open source library. And then what you do is you get the Google TV, or you send intents to the Google TV to have it connect to your Android device. And what you can do is use gestures from your tablet or phone to send URLs via an intent to the TV, which will then load them from your phone.
Let's see.
And if it makes your job a little bit easier, I could take questions from the Google TV page. So
yeah, if there's any more on the Google TV, because I see a little bit of, from people in the chat. Oh, Mark also, he wants to know, when will the search results include TV results in the UK?
UK. So right now, the TV and Movies app and a lot of the search results basically work in the US only. We're right now in the process of working on other countries. And unfortunately, I can't say when, but we're working on it right now, lining up licenses, getting data, getting good data quality, making sure that we get a good experience. And it's looking pretty promising. We really would like to get this out to as many countries as possible. We know that being in just the U.S. isn't ideal, so we're trying to accelerate this.
Cool. Russ wants to know if he can. I'm going to try to say this as nicely as possible. He says it's packed with system apps, and he wants to know when he can remove them. The default apps that come with it.
Which default apps?
He says on the NSZ GS7, like AOL Fuzz and Yup TV.
You can just go in and hide them. They really don't take up much space. I mean, there's no difference in the space for users, really.
Okay. Michael Harries wants to know, does the user need to be signed into their Google account, or does the box itself have like a box account? He says he doesn't want all his housemates to touch his stuff.
Yeah, so I know right now there's pin control for some of the apps, so you can set a pin. But I know that in many cases you do kind of have to log out of the box if you don't want that account used. And I think it's definitely something we would like to improve. Some of it is the heritage of an Android platform that we're working with, and we're working on how to improve that.
Cool. We had a question from I think it's Jigger, and he asked when will Google TV become global? I know Sony just released a couple countries. Maybe Tony, you could speak about that.
Yeah, so the US and the UK is shipping right now, and then Canada, Australia, Germany, France, the Netherlands, Brazil, and Mexico will roll out just very, very soon. Over this summer. Yeah. So that's the initial launch here.
We did kind of touch on this again already, but this is kind of a three-parter. We want to know if Google TV is going to be coming to Android mobile, and if Google TV will ever go to the Nexus Q, and if Google TV is going to be a game hub as well as a TV hub.
All yours.
Just kind of sum up, because I know we kind of mentioned it here and there, but just to kind of put it all together.
I think my favorite term for this is I really don't have a crystal ball.
But we don't know. Stop asking us.
So it's really difficult to answer those forward-looking questions. But I think in terms of Game Hub, it depends on what people interpret with this. We are of course getting at some point games to Google TV, so we have OpenGL, we have 3D acceleration, so there is already some games available that use that on Google TV today. We're working with developers to get more. You may also have seen there was an announcement recently with I think it's OnLive. They have a technology that they have on their side where you can play OnLive games on Google TV. The biggest hurdle, and we know about this, is really for game developers. They rely heavily on the NDK, and currently we don't support NDK for Google TV. So we know about it, and we don't really have any news about that today.
All right.
We're aware.
So Prashant is wondering if there's any plans to integrate NFC and or Google Wallet.
I actually don't work on either of those.
Yeah.
You might know better, Dick.
Well, I know the Google Wallet. There's going to be Google Wallet integration around movie rentals. But I think what's being asked is probably a more general question than that.
Yeah. I mean, the problem with NFC is currently, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Google TV hardware devices that the OEMs manufacture, I don't think have NFC capability. Google Wallet, there is payment integration, so we use the regular Android payment APIs. So for developers who want to take payments in their apps, they have all the APIs available. They can integrate with Wallet. You can do one-time payments. You can do subscriptions. So I think there is a lot of opportunities. We've already a couple apps actually that use this. Quello, for example, comes to mind. Quello uses Google Wallet for music concerts, and you can rent a concert.
Cool. So we didn't really talk about the price yet. So what is the price, and are you guys happy with it? Is the question.
The new one is $199.
Okay. Are you happy with that?
I've got no problem with it.
That was a question. Let's see. What about .mkv support?
Codecs are always a tricky issue. I don't know. It could be built into an app if they wanted to take that approach. I mean, each device has a set of codecs that it supports, and that's about all I'm going to say on that.
Cool. Ryan Harder wants to know if it will ever be open source.
What? Being
Google
open
TV. The Google TV.
I don't know. Again, it's impossible to predict the future. It really doesn't make sense to do that right now. So I don't know.
Cool.
We're not philosophically against it.
Yeah.
He also wants to know, with Google Play Music no longer available, is Sony moving away from allowing Google Play for content in favor of music?
Google Play Music. So Tony, do you want to take this, or?
No, because I don't really know why.
Okay, all right. So the Google Play Music app currently is showing up as incompatible, and that's an error. We made a mistake. So it's going to be fixed real soon. The fix is probably in the number of weeks. So I don't know exactly which week it is, but it's going to be one of them real soon. So it's basically a mistake.
Cool. Brian Jurowski actually wants to know, so he lives in Canada but like super close to the border, so he's wondering if he buys one in the U.S., will it still work?
All right, so as a fellow Canadian, it will work in so much as up until the applications are doing like IP detection.
Okay. Even if he's like right there on the border, like barely in Canada?
Unless he's got some IP coming from the U.S., it's
maybe a little Wi-Fi antenna.
Wi-Fi antenna, maybe just a really long cable stretched across a lake or something. I don't know.
You can make it work.
There's going to be more and more stuff coming out, so yeah.
Cool.
It'll work in so much as it will turn on and allow you to do things. Will it allow you to do everything? I don't know.
All right, so
common question I
it's
get,
worth a try.
is application XYZ usually things like Netflix, Amazon, whatever, available in my country. And I'm like, that's really not something we have control over. It's something...
Those are the individual content owners' decisions. Netflix is available in Canada, and I had it before I moved down here.
Okay. Eric wants to know if you guys plan to update Flash to 11 or stay at 10.2.
I don't actually know.
I don't work with Flash.
I don't know either.
Sorry.
What? Shrug.
You got the wrong set of folks for today, unfortunately.
All right. What about Hulu support? Is that already? That was a question.
Hulu support?
Yeah. So I think this is probably asking about Hulu Plus. Like when would a Hulu Plus subscription be playable on the device? So we're talking with Hulu Plus or with Hulu. We don't have anything to announce, but we're talking with them.
Great. Let's see. Are there anyone else have any questions? Oh, Jose says, didn't Adobe stop Flash development for mobile altogether?
That would be an Adobe question.
Sorry, Jose. Is there any talks to creating or developing a Gmail or Google Talk app for the Google TV? Since you have the full, keyboard remote.
So I don't think any of us work on any of that stuff. I mean,
it's up to the developers themselves of the actual thing.
Yeah. It's sort of, again, sorry, shoulder shrug.
Yeah, the
lots of people working on this.
Gmail does work in the browser right now. It's definitely not an optimized experience, though.
Right, it's not like a specific app.
Yeah, and we realize, as probably all of our users do as well, how much better the experience is once you get a native app. But there's nothing that we can talk about right now.
Yeah.
Okay. And we did mention that there was going to be a new Blu-ray player that works with this, correct?
Yes.
Yup.
It's right here.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm burning through these questions fast. Do you have any plans to include more apps on the home screen? Is there a limitation as to how many can be displayed on the home at one time?
Just hit cancel.
I think it's kind of all apps or the home launcher. I'm not sure what the question is. I think on the home launcher there's a absolute number. I don't think you can expand that one. You can customize it.
Okay.
So I think, store.sony.com is shipping overnight, and you can also pick it up at your local Best Buy or other retail stores.
Let's see. I feel I'm getting notes that the Hangout crashed. I wonder if we're having any issues.
So we were just kicked out
we
for
got
a
kicked
second.
out.
Yeah, we're back
Okay.
now.
Maybe there's a little bit of a...
Hiccup.
Yeah. Cool, yeah. There's a little bit of it. We're good.
It looks
It's
like
still broadcasting.
Yeah, it looks like it's still broadcasting. Yeah. So it's also going to be available for replay. So
Yeah, we are recording this.
There's maybe I can talk a little bit about we have actually a developer program here at Sony where developers are very welcome to actually submit their apps to us, and then we will test them on both first generation and second generation, and even products that are not out yet. Just to kind of verify that everything works nicely, and we'll generate a test report and send it back to the developer. It's completely free, and we just basically want to help a developer to make sure that the app works nice and looks nice on our products. And it's all through the developer portal, developer.sony.com. That will also be the way to actually get featured. So we both have the Sony Entertainment network, and then also inside Google Play Store we have a little corner that's called Sony Select, where we feature I think it's up to 20 apps. So as a developer, it's rather attractive because you will be 1 out of 20 instead of 1 out of 100 or 1,000 apps. So, but the first place to start is just submit your app to developer.sony.com.
Great. And I kind of want to circle back around to the Blu-ray player. I feel like people are really intrigued about that. So why did you have a specific Blu-ray player, and who is that aimed at for the most part? And people just want to see it again.
Okay, so it's right here. I mean, it's maybe some people already have a Blu-ray player, so they don't need another one. So that's why the internet player is available. So it's a lower price point. This one will, of course, be a little pricier. I can't say exactly how much at this time, but of course it's going to be more than $199. But feature-wise, it's very similar to the internet player. It's just, with integrated Blu-ray player.
What kind of Blu-ray connectivity is there? Like, will there be any way to use Bluetooth devices with it?
Well, so actually the new remote control is a Bluetooth device. Okay. And we support, so, I mean, this one. Yeah. It's pure Bluetooth. And also we do support like Bluetooth headphones and stuff like that. If you have that.
John wants to talk about the Blu-ray player again. John Salinas is all about it. He says, would you be able to back up your Blu-rays onto an external device using Google TV at all?
Not at this time.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
And for people that joined a little bit later, there was a question from Thomas who's asking, as a Generation 1 Sony 32-inch Google TV user, I would love to know if we will be getting updates at the same time the new Generation 2 Sony Google TVs, or if Sony plans on giving a higher priority to new Sony Google TV models and slow down on updating the old models of their Sony Google TV sets. So basically he's asking if the old devices and the new ones will get updates at the same time.
I don't think they will go out at the same time because it's two different kinds of hardware we're talking about. We will keep supporting the current features on the first generation. We will do bug fixes and stuff like that. For new features, that's really also maybe a question to Google, because it's any changes to Honeycomb is really through Google. So I don't know if any of you can answer that one.
That's back to the question of when are we moving beyond Honeycomb, which we don't.
Stay tuned. Good things always happen here. We're hard at work. Believe. It's all good. It's all going forward. Just like patience is required here a little bit.
I mean, I was just going to comment actually on another post here from Ricky Solorio. He posted a little jelly bean screenshot and asks, when. Like, the screenshot is portrait mode. Won't work.
Yep.
Try again with landscape.
Yeah. Nice try. I don't know if we have covered this specifically, but there have been a couple questions about 3D, but I see that it will be 3D capable.
Yes. So it is. So for example, on both devices, both the Internet player and the Blu-ray player, there will be, I know of some VOD apps that can stream 3D, and that actually works very well. The Blu-ray player is 3D capable, so that will definitely also work. So
Cool.
the answer is yes, 3D.
Awesome.
There was also a question about 5.1 and 7.1 audio output. So I don't know, Tony, if you want to talk to that too.
Oh, I would like to talk about it, but I have to say I'm blank on that answer. I don't recall the specs for that.
Okay.
Will there be, or when will there be a Google Plus app? Says Ricky Solario.
Don't know.
Well, are you guys planning on one at all, or are you not sure yet?
Well, this comes up a lot. It's sort of a, there's nothing to announce about it at this time, but we talk about it a lot.
Cool.
We here, this team, we build the platform. We enable people to create apps. I have lunch frequently with a friend of mine who works in the Google Plus team. I'll bring it up to him, but it's effectively
There's a plug over here.
There. Any other questions anyone's seeing?
Is there a possibility of tighter integration with different cable boxes and DVRs? There is a media device API that we announced at I/O as part of the upcoming SDK release. Well, maybe, Christian, you can talk to that a little bit, given that was your presentation.
Yeah. So basically, the way Google TV interacts with external devices. So there is currently two classes of external devices. One is purely over the infrared blaster. The other method is what we call two-way pairing, which is over IP. That's sort of our premium interaction, or the best interaction way. It allows to read, for example, the channel lineups directly from the set-top box. It allows to also read things like DVR recordings, so it's a bidirectional pairing. We actually opened up the API. We announced it in the Google TV talk that I did at I/O. And the capability will roll out with the next software update to our new devices. And then developers who happen to know the protocol to their devices will be able to implement the Google TV app that can serve sort of as a driver, and it can bridge between an external device and Google TV.
If I can add to that also, one thing for the Sony devices here is if you have a 2012 model TV, a late model 2012 here, then you can actually use the TV remote control also to control your Google TV.
You guys do anything?
Sorry.
So here you can basically use the Google TV remote control if you are in Google TV, but if you use other features of the TV, then you can actually use the TV remote control to also control Google TV. But that's only on 2012 models.
And I know we don't know exactly the specs for whether it's 7.1 or 5.1 or whatever, but is there a reason, Mr. Wizard wants to know if there's a reason why the audio levels are so low by default. He feels like he has to really crank up his TV volume to get it kind of comparable to other devices like his PS3 or anything. So is there a reason why the audio level is at where it's at, or if there's any way to adjust that or anything? It's more of a troubleshooting question, he said, so if you can't answer right now, that's fine.
Yeah, I was not aware of, I have not really seen that issue, but I would say if you can maybe contact us after the Hangout here.
Yeah, like you mentioned, there's the forum that people can go to if they ever have issues with things.
Or basically sign up on the developer portal and shoot us a question. Then,
great.
We'll definitely do it. into that.
Great. And Mark in the chat wants to know if there's any plans to include a Slingbox type functionality to stream from Google TV to your mobile device. So not necessarily, from a tablet to the Google TV, but the other way around.
I don't know. In my opinion, that seems a little odd, given that you have the TV sort of playing the content. There's also, issues I think with DRM at that point. So I don't know. Doesn't.
I mean, where he wants to go with that is basically, is there a way for an app to sort of capture the TV content and rebroadcast it over IP?
No.
And the answer to that is no. And there is a lot of reasons for that. Some of them include DRM, HDCP, and talk to your lawyer.
Gawkin Icon was wondering if there's any way to see a Sony video, or I guess he wants to see a video being played on the Google TV, if that's possible, or if that'll look okay.
Yeah, not a problem. Sorry. So, for example, we have Netflix here. So I don't know what kind of video we're talking about, but
whatever, anything.
Yeah. Just start it up here.
See what else we got.
We're just focus here.
I guess we can take another question while we're waiting, sort of. Michael Kendall says, will we see Google TVs on display and working, and in working order at Best Buys? He's like, he went to a Best Buy last year, and they had no idea how to use it or explain what it does. So he's wondering if you guys will have displays and, like, Best Buy reps to help explain things.
I think one problem that happens out in the field is, lack of internet connection in the different retail stores.
Yeah.
I would definitely recommend going to actually a Sony store. I do believe we can show them all the capabilities of the devices there.
Cool. Let's see. Norman Thompson is actually wondering if we can talk a little bit more about the native media player support and how does it connect to local media like a NOS. Does it require a server app or a full desktop or anything else you think would be helpful about that?
Okay, so that's where in the product we have on the market right now, the version that's in the product, the local media player is actually disabled. However, there will be an OTA update rolling out very soon, where the local media player is going to be enabled, and it's also with the DLNA support. So I think that's kind of what you're looking for. Until that happens, then one of the pre-installed apps are actually Plex. It's already installed on the product. You don't have to go out and buy it. So all you need is to set up your Plex home server.
Perfect. Any picture-in-picture plans?
Picture-in-picture is not exposed via the APIs at all. And there's nothing else to talk about with it. So
moving on.
Not to sound all harsh and stuff, but
cut it off. No.
I mean, so the device itself has picture-in-picture, right? So there's a button. So you can have, right now I don't actually have a set-top box connected to my Google TV, but up here that's where your video will actually be running.
And it's actually almost 5 o'clock now, so we can wrap up any time. But I do have one more question. Will the Sony Blu-ray player be able to play homemade and or backup discs?
So that's probably a question about what format that would be in.
So it depends on the format.
Yeah, I mean, so I can't remember at the top of my head exactly what formats we support, but whatever the most common ones, I would definitely say yes to that.
All right. Well, Got a lot of talking done there. Is there anything else we could, oh, one more question. Is there any way to use HD Home Run? It's a TV tuner for computers. Yeah.
It's kind of a vague question.
I believe just going way out on a limb, I believe I've seen users using this effectively, but I would definitely recommend searching the web and getting some other users' perspectives on it. But I've seen talk about it in some of the forums.
Cool.
I haven't tried it myself though.
Cool.
All right.
Awesome. Well, I think
Well,
that
yeah, we pretty much answered every single question that people had submitted. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Cool. Well, I wanted to just tell everyone that first of all, I want to thank the folks at Revision3, everyone for participating, Sony as well, and also from the Google side to help answer these questions over the past hour. This Hangout is going to be made available for recording, so anyone that missed the first half or just got on the tail end, this is going to be made available for replay. So definitely tune into that. And again, thank you everyone for tuning in.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.